Today we're visiting one of New York's greatest microbreweries with a large reputation. Do they live up to the esteemed title of Nautical Master? Who is this Lawrence, and how does he liquefy his gold? Let's find out at Captain Lawrence Brewery right now. Located in Pleasantville, New York, Captain Lawrence was founded by brewmaster Scott Vaccaro in 2005.
My name is Scott Vaccaro. I'm the owner and head brewer here at Captain Lawrence Brewing Company. Started out with just two of us, and now we got quite a few more.
I'm Justin Sturges, and I am the cellarman at Captain Lawrence. First thing I was doing was packaging, kegging beer, moving beer from a bright beer tank, a storage vessel, into kegs. It's pretty well automated, but we need to keep an eye on it. At the same time, I was filtering, so clarifying beer after it's finished fermenting, removing yeast and hop matter, getting it ready to be kegged. So sort of the end of the process of brewing.
Cheers. Some of their beers include a Pale Ale, Rosso y Marron, and the Extra Gold, the last two of which won gold medals at the Great American Beer Festival.
Captain Lawrence is the name of the road I grew up on. So when I was 17 years old, making that first batch of homebrew, made up labels on the computer, Captain Lawrence Brewing Company, slapped them on Corona bottles, filled them up with homebrew, and gave them out to my friends. The hardest part about opening up a brewery, I guess, is putting together a viable plan, getting people to, believe in it and invest money in it, and then actually executing, turning an empty warehouse into a functioning brewery. We did a lot of it ourselves, most of it ourselves, the plumbing work, a lot of the electrical work. By the time we brewed our first batch of beer, it was probably the most stressful 4 months of my life. I aged very quickly.
I'm gonna save this for a latter date. We're gonna just hold on to it until there's more room for another tank.
So of all the beers we brew, the Pale Ale, our Pale Ale, is the one I say gets the most quality control with my palate. That's the one I drink the most of, so that's my favorite beer to drink on a daily basis. I really love making the sour ales, and we've been moving around a lot of oak barrels today, kind of rearranging things, getting ready to do some bottling, some grape additions to some of our sour ones, so it's a busy time of year for that kind of stuff.
I'm really happy brewing because I feel satisfied every day. There's a product every day that I can see and taste and share.
We use some locally grown hops this year. It's not easy for us in New York to get locally grown hops. We're working with semi-local maltster to try to use some East Coast grown malts or barleys. That's about the extent of our local. We do get our barrels from next door at the winery next door, so that's pretty local.
Captain Lawrence has a 5,000 barrel capacity and provides fresh, award-winning beer to their local customers.
Sour, brown ale aged in wine barrels with Zinfandel and Merlot grapes added. It's pretty off the wall. I didn't really read any book on how to do that. We have a big 800-gallon oak barrel in the back we're playing with.
It's a killer. You can have about a glass before your stomach starts to object, but you keep on drinking it nonetheless.
Right now we have our Smoke from the Oak series we just bottled. It's the same exact batch of beer out of the same tank, aged in apple brandy, rum, and wine barrels, and we're going to release that as a 3-pack with a tasting glass. And that'll be kind of a good experiment in barrel aging and seeing how these different wood barrels can influence the flavor of the beer. Homebrewing is a lot of fun and pretty stress-free to being, worrying about paying the bills and making sure, the lights stay on. It's a whole other process. I always tell homebrewers when they do come to me with that idea, I always say, I'm the last person to tell you not to follow your dream, but remember it's a business first, and it's not just about making beer. A lot of people can make good beer. You also have to be able to sell it and make sure it's going to get to the market properly, make sure other people are going to like it. The quick and dirty, we're taking 2-row malt and some English crystal, mixing that up with some hot water, making our mash, extracting the sugars from the malt, collecting that wort in the kettle, boiling it up. We're using 100% domestically grown American hops. We're using Columbus, Palisade, Cascade, and Simcoe, all added throughout the boil at different points. Boiling for about 70 minutes, adding our hops throughout that boil, cooling it down into the fermenter with some American ale yeast, fermenting it out for a couple weeks, filtered, kegged, and an American Pale Ale you have. There's a lot of thirsty people in the New York Metro, and we're happy to just keep feeding them. This has basically been my passion since I was 17, and it's taken a long time to get here, and I hope that when people drink our beer, they taste passion, they think excitement when they think Captain Lawrence. They realize that we love what we do here, and we're making a product for people to enjoy, and we hope they enjoy it. I mean, I feel very fortunate and very lucky to be able to come to work every day and love what I do, and every day is new and exciting. And whether I'm sweating copper pipes in the back or jamming grapes into a barrel of sour ale, it's a lot of fun.
From the mashing to the fermentation and to the kegging of Captain Lawrence's finest products, you've seen here today the greatest way to make beer. And we hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for joining us.
Rocky Raccoon's Honey Raspberry Lager. I got 2 bottles of that from 1996 in the fridge. Maybe I'll crack one of those one day when it's 20 years old.